The gut is not just a digestive organ, it's the control center for your entire body. Your immune system, metabolism, energy, and even your mood all begin here. When your gut is healthy, everything else works better. But when the gut barrier becomes damaged, what we call leaky gut, the body begins to fall apart from the inside out. Toxins, undigested food particles, and harmful microbes slip through that weakened intestinal wall and enter the bloodstream. The immune system reacts as if it's under attack, triggering widespread inflammation. You feel it as fatigue, brain fog, joint pain, skin flare-ups, bloating, and that frustrating, stubborn weight that refuses to shift no matter how disciplined you are. This is the hidden driver behind so many modern health problems. The gut is inflamed, overloaded, and unable to do its job. But the good news is the gut has an incredible capacity to heal itself when given the right environment. That's what the 14-day gut healing plan is designed to do. It's a clinical step-by-step process I've used with patients to reset the microbiome, calm inflammation, and rebuild the gut lining naturally. We're not chasing quick fixes or gimmicks. We're addressing the root cause of metabolic chaos, the damaged gut barrier. And it doesn't start with a shelf full of supplements. It starts with removing irritants, feeding the good bacteria, and providing the gut with nutrients that allow real repair. The right foods, rest, and rhythm can transform your gut environment and, in turn, your energy, mood, and ability to burn fat effectively. When you support the gut, you support every system in the body. And this 14-day plan shows exactly how to do it, step by step, with results you can feel. The gut lining is one of the most remarkable structures in the human body. It's just a single cell layer thick. Incredibly delicate, yet it performs two crucial jobs at once. It digests and absorbs nutrients from the food you eat, while also acting as a powerful immune barrier that decides what gets into the bloodstream and what stays out. Think of it as border control for your entire system. When that lining is strong and intact, the body runs efficiently. Nutrients are absorbed, waste is excreted, and inflammation stays under control. But when it becomes porous or inflamed, the immune system is thrown into chaos. Around 70% of your immune cells live right there in the gut. They are the sentinels that constantly survey incoming food, microbes, and environmental chemicals. Their job is to keep the peace, to tolerate friendly bacteria and harmless foods while attacking genuine threats like pathogens. When this system is balanced, inflammation is tightly regulated. You have energy, clear thinking, and stable metabolism. But when it's disrupted, the immune system begins to overact, treating almost everything as a potential enemy. That's when chronic inflammation takes hold. Modern life is perfectly designed to damage this system. Courses of antibiotics wipe out beneficial bacteria, often permanently altering the microbial balance. Processed foods laden with refined oils, emulsifiers, and artificial sweeteners feed the wrong microbes and create toxic byproducts. Alcohol, even in moderate amounts, erodes the gut barrier and increases intestinal permeability. And stress, both physical and emotional, changes gut motility, suppresses stomach acid, and reduces the flow of digestive enzymes. The result is an inflamed, weakened gut that leaks irritants directly into the bloodstream, forcing the immune system to fight an endless battle it can never win. When the gut barrier fails, symptoms start showing up everywhere. You may feel fatigued even after a full night's sleep because your body is diverting energy toward constant low-grade inflammation. Your joints ache, your skin becomes reactive, or your sinuses stay congested. You might notice bloating, irregular bowel movements, or unexplained food sensitivities. These are not random issues. They're the direct consequence of a gut lining that's no longer doing its job. Even more telling, weight loss becomes almost impossible. Chronic inflammation elevates cortisol and insulin levels, which signal the body to store fat, particularly around the abdomen. So even if you're eating well or exercising, the internal inflammation keeps your metabolism locked in fat storage mode. Autoimmune conditions are another downstream effect of this process. When the gut barrier leaks, fragments of food proteins and bacterial toxins escape into circulation. The immune system creates antibodies to attack them, but because some of these proteins resemble human tissues, it can begin attacking your own cells, the thyroid, joints, or skin. This molecular mimicry explains why gut dysfunction so often precedes autoimmune flare-ups. In clinical practice, I've seen time and again that when we fix the gut, the immune system calms down, inflammation drops, and many symptoms once labeled as chronic begin to resolve naturally. The connection between gut health and whole body wellness cannot be overstated. Every cell, every organ relies on the gut's ability to extract nutrients, detoxify waste, and regulate immune responses. If that foundational system is compromised, no amount of supplements, medications, or fancy diets will bring lasting health. You can't build on a broken foundation. That's why in any effective healing plan, we must start where all healing begins. In the gut. Restoring gut integrity is not a luxury, it's a necessity. When we heal the gut lining, we lower systemic inflammation, balance hormones, stabilize energy, and unlock the body's natural capacity to repair. The 14-day plan is built around this truth that health doesn't begin with managing symptoms, but by repairing the barrier that controls everything else. When the gut is healed, the rest of the body finally gets permission to recover. To restore gut health, we first have to understand what's breaking it down, and that means facing the reality of what most people call normal living. The truth is, our modern diet and lifestyle are biologically incompatible with how the human gut evolved to function. The intestinal lining is designed to process whole, natural foods, rich in fiber, healthy fats, and diverse plant compounds. Yet today it's bombarded with refined carbohydrates, processed seed oils, gluten, heavy grains, and artificial additives that the gut simply doesn't recognize. This constant chemical assault erodes the intestinal wall, disrupts the microbiome, and lights the fire of chronic inflammation. Refined carbohydrates, sugars, white flours, and ultra-processed snacks are the first and most obvious offenders. They cause spikes in blood glucose, which feed pathogenic microbes like yeast and opportunistic bacteria, allowing them to outcompete beneficial strains. When these harmful species dominate, they release toxins called lipopolysaccharides that directly damage the gut lining and trigger systemic inflammation. Gluten adds fuel to the fire. Even in people without celiac disease, gluten can increase intestinal permeability by stimulating the release of a protein called zonulin, which loosens the tight junctions between gut cells. Once those gates are open, microscopic food particles and bacterial fragments slip through, confusing the immune system and keeping it on high alert. Then there are the seed oils, industrial products extracted from soy, corn, canola, and sunflower. These oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which in excess drive inflammation throughout the body. Worse, when heated or processed, they oxidize into compounds that damage the delicate gut lining directly. It's no exaggeration to say these oils are toxic to the microbiome. They alter bacterial diversity, reduce bitter producing strains, and promote a leaky, inflamed gut environment. Artificial sweeteners are another hidden culprit. While marketed as healthy, sugar substitutes, compounds like aspartame and sucralose interfere with the gut-brain axis, alter microbial composition, and impair glucose metabolism, ironically leading to the very insulin resistance and weight gain they claim to prevent. But food is only half the story. Chronic stress is just as destructive to gut integrity. When cortisol stays elevated, digestion shuts down, the stomach produces less acid, bile flow is impaired, and gut motility slows. This creates the perfect breeding ground for bacterial overgrowth and fermentation, leading to bloating, cramping, and malabsorption. Stress hormones also thin the gut lining, making it more vulnerable to damage from food toxins and pathogens. The same goes for poor sleep. Even a few nights of inadequate rest can shift the gut microbiome toward more inflammatory species and reduce microbial diversity. In short, stress and sleep deprivation create the biological equivalent of a leaky roof during a storm. No matter how strong the foundation, damage will occur. Environmental toxins add yet another layer of assault. Pesticides, plastics, heavy metals, and household chemicals accumulate over time and directly harm beneficial gut bacteria. Glyphosate, found in non-organic grains and vegetables, acts as an antibiotic in the gut, wiping out microbial diversity. It also interferes with the Shikimate pathway, a process vital to the production of amino acids that feed good bacteria. Even trace amounts of these compounds can slowly weaken the intestinal barrier and overwhelm detoxification pathways. This toxic cocktail, processed food, stress, sleep deprivation, and chemical exposure, is what I call the perfect storm for leaky gut. It's why so many people today live in a constant state of low-grade inflammation. Even when their medical tests look normal, you cannot rebuild gut health until you stop this ongoing damage. There's no supplement or probiotic powerful enough to overcome daily inflammation caused by what you eat and how you live. That's why the 14-day gut reset begins with subtraction, not addition. We first remove the irritants. the processed carbohydrates, the seed oils, the artificial chemicals, and allow the gut lining to breathe again. Only then can we start rebuilding the microbiome and restoring balance. True healing begins when the gut is no longer under attack. Once the internal war ends, energy returns, inflammation cools, and the body begins the process of genuine recovery. The 14-day gut healing plan is designed to give the digestive system a complete reset, not through deprivation, but by giving the gut the conditions it needs to heal itself. The gut lining renews every few days, which means that in just 2 weeks, with the right inputs, you can rebuild a stronger barrier, rebalance your microbiome, and dramatically reduce inflammation. This process follows 3 key phases: remove, rebuild, and rebalance. Each step works synergistically to calm the immune system, support natural detoxification, and restore efficient metabolism. The first phase, remove, focuses on clearing away the irritants that have been damaging the gut lining and feeding harmful microbes. For the first 7 days, you'll eliminate all processed foods, sugar, alcohol, gluten, and dairy. These are the most common triggers of gut inflammation and the biggest contributors to leaky gut. Even small amounts of them can keep the gut barrier from sealing properly. Processed carbohydrates and sugar drive microbial imbalance. Gluten increases intestinal permeability, and dairy proteins often provoke immune reactions in inflamed guts. Alcohol, meanwhile, directly damages intestinal cells and interferes with nutrient absorption. This first week is about giving the gut lining a rest. Think of it as clearing a toxic field before planting new seeds. Meals should be built around simple, whole ingredients: grass-fed milled fish, organic eggs, non-starchy vegetables, and healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, and coconut oil. Hydration is crucial. Aim for at least 2 liters of clean water daily, ideally with a pinch of sea salt or a squeeze of lemon to support electrolyte balance. This helps flush inflammatory byproducts and keeps digestion moving smoothly. You may notice some initial detox symptoms: headaches, fatigue, or cravings, but these pass quickly as the body adapts and inflammation begins to subside. The second phase, rebuild, begins around day 8. Once the irritants are removed, we shift focus to feeding and repairing the intestinal lining. This is where nutrient density becomes critical. Foods like bone broth provide collagen, glycine, and glutamine, amino acids that rebuild the gut wall and strengthen tight junctions. Fermented vegetables such as sauerkraut and kimchi reintroduce beneficial microbes and restore microbial diversity. Omega-3 fats from wild salmon, sardines, or flaxseed oil lower inflammation and support cell membrane repair. High-quality proteins, eggs, grass-fed beef, or lentils supply the building blocks for new tissue. This phase is also about slowing down and eating mindfully. Digestion begins in the brain. If you eat in a rush or under stress, your body won't produce enough stomach acid or enzymes to break down food properly. Take time to chew, breathe, and enjoy each meal. A few deep breaths before eating can lower cortisol and help shift the body into a parasympathetic, or rest and digest, state. These small adjustments make a profound difference in how well nutrients are absorbed and utilized. The third phase, rebalance, focuses on nurturing a stable, healthy microbiome. By the final days of the plan, inflammation has cooled and the gut lining has started to repair. Now it's time to feed the beneficial bacteria so they can thrive long term. This means adding prebiotic-rich foods: garlic, onions, leeks, asparagus, and green bananas, along with low glycemic vegetables that keep blood sugar stable. Resistant starches like cooked and cooled sweet potatoes or green plantains can also help feed butyrate-producing bacteria, which play a crucial role in maintaining gut integrity. During this phase, consistency matters more than perfection. Hydration remains essential, as does maintaining a regular sleep schedule and gentle movement, such as walking or stretching, to keep lymphatic circulation active. The aim is to establish daily habits that continue beyond the 14 days, habits that sustain gut repair rather than undermine it. You're not just healing, you're retraining your body to function as it was designed. By the end of this 2-week process, many people notice reduced bloating, steadier energy, improved focus, and a flatter abdomen. The immune system quiets down, inflammation drops, and metabolism becomes more efficient. The gut lining, once inflamed and porous, begins to function again as a selective barrier, absorbing nutrients while keeping toxins and microbes out. This is what true healing feels like: balance returning from the inside out. The plan isn't a quick detox or a temporary cleanse. It's a foundational reset that teaches your gut how to heal itself naturally. efficiently and sustainably. Inside the gut lives a vast ecosystem of microbes, trillions of bacteria, fungi, and other microscopic organisms that outnumber our own cells by a factor of 10. This internal community, known as the microbiome, isn't just involved in digestion. It actively regulates metabolism, immune function, and even brain chemistry. Every meal we eat shapes it. Every lifestyle choice we make influences whether it thrives or falls into imbalance. When the microbiome is healthy, it forms a powerful symbiosis with the body, helping us extract nutrients efficiently, regulate blood sugar, and maintain a lean, energetic state. But when it's disrupted, the effects ripple through every system, often showing up as bloating, cravings, brain fog, and stubborn weight gain. The microbiome acts like an internal chemical factory. Beneficial bacteria ferment dietary fiber into short-chain fatty acids such as butyrate, acetate, and propionate, compounds that nourish gut cells, reduce inflammation, and help regulate appetite. These same bacteria produce essential vitamins, including B12, K2, and folate, all of which are vital for energy metabolism and cellular repair. They also modulate insulin sensitivity, ensuring that glucose is efficiently taken up by the cells rather than stored as fat. This means a healthy microbiome is one of the most powerful metabolic regulators you have. It helps determine how your body stores energy, how hungry you feel, and how efficiently you burn fat. The microbiome also communicates constantly with the brain through the gut-brain axis, a complex network of nerves, hormones, and immune messengers. This two-way conversation influences mood, motivation, and even decision-making around food. When beneficial bacteria dominate, serotonin levels rise, stress hormones stay balanced, and cravings are easier to control. But when the microbiome is imbalanced, a condition known as dysbiosis, that communication system becomes distorted. You might crave sugar or processed carbohydrates, not because your body needs them, but because harmful microbes do. They thrive on these foods and send signals to your brain that reinforce their own survival at your expense. Dysbiosis can begin with a single round of antibiotics, a period of chronic stress, or months of processed eating. The result is the overgrowth of pathogenic bacteria and yeast that produce toxins, gas, and inflammatory molecules. These byproducts damage the gut lining, leading to leaky gut, immune overactivation, and systemic inflammation. The downstream effects include everything from weight gain and fatigue to skin problems, anxiety, and autoimmune flare-ups. In clinical practice, I often see patients who have tried countless diets without success, yet the real issue isn't their willpower, it's that their microbiome has been hijacked. Until balance is restored, the body remains in a state of metabolic confusion. Restoring microbial diversity is the foundation of gut healing and long-term health. The first step is feeding the beneficial bacteria that are already there. They thrive on plant fibers, not sugar, foods rich in prebiotics. Onions, leeks, garlic, asparagus, green bananas, and Jerusalem artichokes provide the fermentable fibers that good bacteria use as fuel. These fibers increase butyrate production, which strengthens the gut barrier and lowers inflammation throughout the body. Alongside prebiotics, fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and unsweetened yogurt introduce living probiotics that help repopulate the gut with beneficial species. These foods work best when consumed daily and in small amounts, gradually increasing as tolerance improves. Targeted probiotic supplements can also help, especially strains such as Lactobacillus rhamnosus, a Bifidobacterium longum, and Saccharomyces boulardii, which have been shown to reduce inflammation and enhance microbial diversity. But the goal is not to depend on pills forever. It's to create an internal environment where good bacteria can thrive naturally. That means maintaining hydration, eating slowly, managing stress, and avoiding the antibiotics, pesticides, and artificial additives that destroy microbial balance. In the first place, when the microbiome returns to balance, remarkable changes occur. Digestion improves because food is broken down more efficiently and nutrients are absorbed properly. Inflammation drops because the immune system no longer faces constant provocation. Blood sugar becomes more stable, reducing cravings and energy crashes. And because the gut and brain are in constant communication, mood and mental clarity improve as well. The microbiome becomes a silent ally, constantly working behind the scenes to regulate metabolism, support immunity, and stabilize weight. A balanced microbiome doesn't just heal the gut. It transforms the way the entire body functions. It shifts the internal environment from one of chronic inflammation and fatigue to one of vitality and resilience. Every choice that supports microbial diversity, from a serving of fermented vegetables to an extra hour of sleep, strengthens the internal ecosystem. When you nourish your microbes, they return the favor by nourishing you. And that is the real foundation of sustainable health and lasting energy. When it comes to repairing the gut, the body doesn't need gimmicks or complicated protocols. It needs the right raw materials. The gut lining renews itself every 3 to 5 days, but that regeneration depends entirely on the nutrients available. If the diet is deficient, repair stalls and inflammation persists. Healing the gut means feeding it what it's made of: amino acids, minerals, and essential fats that rebuild tissue, restore microbial balance, and regulate immune function. Real food does this best, and targeted supplementation can support it. But nothing replaces nutrient-dense, unprocessed meals built from whole ingredients. One of the most important nutrients for gut repair is glutamine. It's an amino acid that serves as the preferred fuel for enterocytes, the cells that line the intestinal wall. When the gut is inflamed or leaky, these cells are damaged and require extra energy to regenerate. Glutamine helps tighten the junctions between them and accelerates mucosal healing. Bone broth is one of the richest natural sources, providing not only glutamine but also glycine, proline, and collagen, all essential for rebuilding connective tissue. In clinical practice, I often recommend sipping warm bone broth daily during gut repair phases. For those unable to make broth, a high-quality glutamine powder can be used short-term to support recovery. Zinc is another cornerstone nutrient for gut integrity. It plays a central role in cell division, tissue repair, and immune regulation. Deficiency in zinc is common, especially after chronic inflammation or stress, and it directly weakens the intestinal barrier. Foods rich in zinc include oysters, pumpkin seeds, grass-fed beef, and pastured eggs. Even mild supplementation, around 15 to 30 mg of zinc citrate or gluconate per day, can accelerate the closure of a leaky gut. However, balance is key. Long-term high-dose zinc can deplete copper, so any supplement use should be monitored carefully. Omega-3 fats are equally vital because they actively reduce inflammation and support the regeneration of epithelial cells. These anti-inflammatory fats, particularly EPA and DHA, are found in wild-caught fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. They modulate immune signaling and counteract the omega-6 overload that comes from processed seed oils. For those who don't consume fish regularly, a purified fish oil or algae-based supplement can help rebalance fatty acid ratios. Without this correction, the gut environment remains chronically inflamed, slowing every aspect of healing. Vitamin D deserves special attention because of its direct influence on the gut immune interface. Low vitamin D levels are consistently linked with inflammatory bowel issues, autoimmunity, and metabolic dysfunction. It helps regulate the tight junction proteins that seal the intestinal wall and shapes the microbial composition by favoring beneficial bacterial strains. The best sources are sunlight, oily fish, and pastured eggs. For those living in low sunlight regions, a moderate supplement of vitamin D3, ideally paired with vitamin K2, can support both immune function and gut repair. Maintaining optimal levels, usually between 40 and 60 ng/ml, can make a profound difference in recovery speed. Magnesium, often overlooked, plays a key role in muscle relaxation, bowel motility, and energy production. Chronic stress and poor diet rapidly deplete it, leading to constipation and sluggish digestion. Leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and mineral-rich water are excellent natural sources. A gentle magnesium citrate or glycinate supplement can be helpful short-term to restore levels and support regular elimination, essential for detoxification during gut repair. Beyond these core nutrients, supportive aids like probiotics and digestive enzymes can enhance recovery when used intelligently. Probiotics help repopulate the gut with beneficial bacteria, improving digestion and immune tolerance. Not all probiotic products are effective, but strains like Lactobacillus rhamnosus, a Bifidobacterium longum, and a Saccharomyces boulardii have shown consistent benefits. Enzymes can be useful in the short term, especially for those with low stomach acid or pancreatic insufficiency, as they assist in breaking down proteins and fats while the digestive system recovers. What's unnecessary and often overhyped are expensive detox powders, high-dose herbal cleanses, or mega-dose probiotics claiming to cure all gut issues. The body doesn't need to be forced into detoxification. It needs to be supported. Overcomplicating the process can even backfire by irritating the gut lining further. The focus must always return to real food, nutrient-dense meals built around clean proteins, good fats, and colorful plants, wild-caught fish, pastured eggs, leafy greens. Fermented vegetables and slow-cooked broths provide nearly everything the gut needs to heal. Combined with proper hydration, rest, and avoidance of inflammatory foods, these choices create the internal environment for true regeneration. The gut, when nourished properly, is designed to repair itself. Supplements can assist, but food is the medicine that provides the blueprint for healing. Each bite either damages or repairs the gut lining. And once you consistently choose the foods that rebuild rather than inflame, the entire system begins to return to balance naturally. The goal of gut healing is not to follow a short detox or a temporary elimination plan. It's to create a sustainable foundation for lifelong health. After 2 weeks of focused repair, the gut lining is calmer, inflammation has eased, and microbial balance is beginning to restore. But maintaining those results requires consistency. The gut is a living ecosystem. If you return to the same habits that cause damage, it will quickly regress. Long-term gut health means cultivating a daily rhythm that protects this newly rebuilt environment and allows it to thrive. The first step after the 14-day reset is reintroducing foods carefully. This isn't about returning to normal eating. It's about learning what your body can tolerate and what still triggers inflammation. One by one, reintroduce previously eliminated foods such as gluten, dairy, or grains, waiting at least 2 to 3 days between each. Pay close attention to how you feel, not just in digestion, but in energy, mood, and sleep. Subtle changes like bloating, fatigue, or joint stiffness are signs that the body is reacting. By identifying these sensitivities, you can make informed decisions rather than guessing what's right for you. The aim is not perfection or restriction, but awareness, understanding how each food interacts with your unique biology. Once the gut is healed, maintaining microbial diversity becomes the central goal. A resilient microbiome depends on variety. In both diet and lifestyle, continue prioritizing fiber, rich vegetables, fermented foods, and resistant starches that feed beneficial bacteria. Rotate your produce weekly. Each color and plant family nourishes different bacterial strains. Incorporate fermented foods regularly, such as sauerkraut, kefir, or kimchi, to keep probiotic species active and engaged. Occasional fasting or meal spacing can also support microbial balance by allowing the gut time to rest and clear metabolic waste. Lifestyle habits are just as critical as diet. Daily movement supports lymphatic flow, reduces insulin resistance, and stimulates the gut-brain axis through mechanical and neurological pathways. Even gentle activities like walking after meals can improve digestion and reduce bloating. Stress management is equally important. Chronic stress remains one of the most potent disruptors of gut integrity because elevated cortisol thins the mucosal barrier and suppresses immune regulation. Meditation, breathwork, time in nature, or simply slowing down while eating are all practical tools to lower stress and preserve gut function. Sleep is another cornerstone of long-term gut health. The microbiome operates on a circadian rhythm, just like the rest of the body. Irregular sleep or late nights throw this rhythm off, reducing microbial diversity and impairing intestinal repair. Aim for consistent bedtimes, ideally before 11 p.m., and a full 7 to 8 hours of restorative sleep. It's during deep sleep that the gut lining regenerates most efficiently. Good sleep also stabilizes hunger hormones like ghrelin and leptin, reducing cravings and supporting weight stability. Clean, whole food eating must remain the backbone of your lifestyle. Continue minimizing processed foods, refined sugars, and seed oils. They are the fastest way to undo progress. Choose grass-fed meats, wild fish, organic produce, and natural fats that nourish rather than inflame. Hydration should remain a daily focus. Pure water, herbal teas, and mineral-rich broths help maintain digestive flow and support detoxification. Small, consistent actions make the difference, one balanced meal at a time. Hormonal balance and weight stability are natural byproducts of a healthy gut. When inflammation drops, insulin sensitivity improves, cortisol normalizes, and the body becomes more efficient at burning fat for fuel. Instead of battling against your metabolism, you begin to work with it. The gut communicates directly with hormones that control appetite and energy expenditure, meaning that when it's in balance, cravings lessen and energy feels steady throughout the day. This is why gut health is not a vanity project. It's the foundation of metabolic and hormonal equilibrium. What's most empowering is understanding that this isn't complicated. Your gut doesn't need perfection, it needs consistency. It responds to nourishment, rest, and regular care. Occasional indulgences or stressors won't undo your progress if your daily routine supports repair and balance. Over time, you'll find that your body begins to guide you Certain foods will feel right, others will clearly not. You'll develop a sense of resilience and self-trust that comes from being in tune with your biology rather than fighting against it. Maintaining gut integrity is the ultimate act of prevention. It guards against chronic inflammation, autoimmune flare-ups, and metabolic dysfunction. It stabilizes hormones, sharpens mental clarity, and protects long-term vitality. When you support your gut daily, you're not just avoiding illness, you're optimizing every aspect of health. And the truth remains constant when you heal the gut. The body naturally finds its balance again. It's not a theory, it's how we're designed to function. The gut leads, and the rest of the body follows.